I did read a lot about marriages that like failed during times of chemo and cancer, and some people like they would get the diagnosis and the next day their partner would leave them.
Jed Bradshaw is a third-generation partner at Lightning Glassworks who walked away from toxic office politics to scale his family's legacy on a radical 3-day work week.
As far as like our business story, like it goes back to my grandpa, and then he got a syndrome called Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's like one morning he tried to get out of bed and he fell over because his legs wouldn't work, so he was paralyzed. And so my dad like took over his business like overnight, and he basically had to learn on the go.
How's that been, having parents, siblings? What's that dynamic like?
Family dynamics are hard. Because we have that relationship, it's actually easier than going into work and not being able to trust the people you work with.
I haven't heard of any business that says
3 days.
We only work 3 days a week. How did that come to be, and how does that work in a business?
We have a really staggered schedule, so it works out. Nobody works more than 3 days a week is the goal, just so that they have extra time for their family, extra time to take care of what they need to take care of.
What got you out of that depression when you got done with all the chemotherapy and you kind of were in that slump? Welcome back to the Colorado Business Podcast, the #1 business podcast in Colorado. Today, I'm joined again with my co-host, Chris Seegers. How you doing, brother?
Man, it's 70 degrees in February in Colorado, so I'm doing good, brother.
I know, I should have worn my shorts.
Exactly.
I normally wear shorts for a long time, like pretty much May to call it January time, and I just stopped wearing them, and here we are with 70-degree weather. So I don't know what I'm doing, but you gotta wear them again.
Exactly.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm excited because we're bringing in a sponsor to come on to the show. He's a great guest. We just got to know each other a little bit before the show started. Jed with Lightning Glassworks. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. This is something that's been kind of a long time coming, because I know we talked several months back when you jumped on with us. And thank you again for supporting our show, first and foremost. And second of all, you have such an awesome story. So I'm excited to get into your business, multi-generational business. But before we get into all of that, kind of give us the background story of how everything started with the business and kind of how you got incorporated into it as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to be here too, because years ago I was looking into like podcasts and stuff to enhance our marketing, and I couldn't find anything. So when I saw this, I was ready to jump on board. As far as like our business story, like it goes back to my grandpa on our mom's side. So my grandpa Jerry, he started, he did a lot of different things. He had 6 kids, so he was always busy doing something like mowing lawns, weeding, digging shovels, getting the boys out and doing something. And then he started doing glass repair. He learned how to do the glass business and glazing and how to cut glass. And at that time, it was mostly single pane glass. And that's what he started doing. And then he got a syndrome called Guillain-Barré syndrome. So it's a little bit like polio. And it's like one morning he tried to get out of bed and he fell over because his legs wouldn't work. So he was paralyzed. He was on a ventilator for 3 months in the hospital. So prior to that, my dad had actually started working for him a little bit on the side. And when my grandpa was in the hospital, my grandpa still had 2 young kids at home, taking care of them. And so my dad like took over his business like overnight, and he basically had to learn on the go. My dad did. And so he learned a lot through experience. And he kept the business going, and they still work together after my grandpa got out of the hospital. And then a few years later, there was a huge hailstorm in Denver. It wiped out the entire sides of buildings, as my parents say. And so that was 1990. And I know that because that was the year I was born, and that was the year my dad started his own business. There was just so much work, and my grandpa was able to have his sons do more of his business. And so my dad started Lightning Glassworks, and then about 10 years later, we moved to Colorado Springs area, started developing a business in Colorado Springs.
Why move to Colorado Springs? What was the prompt there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was about 10 years old, so I don't really know the entire reason. I think my parents found a farmhouse in Fremont County. We were camping in San Isabel. And I think we are going back to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided they'd like stopped at a coffee shop or something, saw this flyer for the farmhouse. And they were like, hey, that looks good. Let's go look at it. They fell in love with it on the tour. They moved the family down there. It was a really chaotic time period in their life, like trying to get that farmhouse remodeled. And they had 4 kids, including myself.
What part of Fremont County?
Penrose.
Okay.
Penrose.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
So-
from Westcliff, so
Okay,
I drive
yeah.
through that area all the time.
Yeah. It ended up working out. It was just a really chaotic time. My dad built a big shop on the property for his business. But there was just like not enough work in Fremont County.
Mhm.
So he started developing the business in Colorado Springs in about 2000. And he kept it going. And over time, all the kids worked there. My brother and I, when we were kids in Denver, we would do piecework. So we would build like a screen frame for like 25 cents. And then over the summers, we would start building more and more stuff in the shop. And then we would start going on the road with him and stuff. So that's how we first started getting involved in the business.
That's awesome. What were some of the things, like core values or things your grandpa and your dad taught you as you guys were doing this as young kids?
Yeah. Things will always go wrong, right? Like every day, like that's kind of business. There's challenges, there's problems, things are going wrong, things you thought would go well, didn't go well. But my dad always said, hey, like that's just life. Like, don't worry about that. Like, instead think about how are you gonna fix it? What's the best way that you can fix it where no one else is gonna know you had this problem? Only you are gonna know you had this problem. And I think you learned that from because he was always working with his hands, like in the woodworking trade and carpentry as well. And so yeah, like you can cover up those mistakes, and nobody's gonna know except for the craftsman. And so that was really helpful. Like that's something we often talk about. Like, okay, yeah, it's a problem, but what's the solution? How are we gonna fix this and make it right? Um, that's a big one. And I was thinking a couple others on the today, but I just can't think of them right now. I'm sure they'll come back later.
Are your siblings still involved in the business?
Yeah,
How's that been? Having parents, siblings, what's that dynamic like?
yeah, it's interesting. We've all worked in different places. So like we've all worked for different companies, and then about 2 years ago, we decided, okay, my dad's maybe gonna try to retire.
Mm-hmm.
What does the future look like for us as the company and as a family? And so we all came back to the business, and my dad and my mom were gracious enough to invite us on as partners. So we're like legally partners in the business now. That changes your perspective already, like just having ownership in the business. But as far as family dynamic, we've always worked together. And of course, we've always had troubles and challenges getting along and stuff. And we're siblings, right? But at the end of the day, like you put that to the side, you put all those challenges and you say, hey, family, you never give up. You never give up on family. Just have peace, Peace is more important than being right. And so we do our best to push to practice that as much as possible. And I think that's really helped. Just, okay, this will take care of itself. Just keep going. Just keep going. Get up out of bed in the day. Keep going. Just have peace. That works out.
Is there multiple siblings? So is it all brothers? Is it
Yeah.
sisters and brothers? Or
So my older brother, my older sister, and then myself. I'm the number 3, and then my younger brother. Yeah.
oh man, that's like you, Chris. You got your whole siblings in your business too. So
Yeah, I'm
he's-
one of 8, and we've got 5 of us working together, and hopefully all 8. But same dynamic, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
All different skill sets, argue a ton, but it's like, all right, now we got to go Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Let's not make mom mad because we're arguing the whole time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Is we all have different skill sets, right? My brothers are much better at working with their hands than I am. I'm much more better at working in my headspace, if you will. So working on the computer, working in the background, marketing, admin, telling our story, things like that. They're much more suited to working in the field, fixing things, putting the glass in, putting the windows in. And my sister, she's great at administration and keeping us all organized. And uh, we lovingly call her El Presidente because she makes everything run, right? Like it works because of that. And then my mom and dad are great advisors. They've gone through all of these troubles and challenges before. So if we have a problem, we're like, hey, what do we do? They tell us the good advice. If we follow it, it works out.
All right, folks. So we want to take a quick minute to introduce our diamond sponsor, Chris Seegers with Exceptional Business Advisors. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your business, sir?
Man, a question that we love to ask our potential clients is, do you know what your business is worth? And if you sold your business today, would it fulfill your personal and financial goals? If you're a successful business owner, but you don't know when or how to sell your business, and if you've ever wondered what each additional day in your business is actually costing you, we'd love to chat. If you're ready to spend more time with your family, your friends, or traveling, come sit down with our team, because when you work with exceptional business advisors, we'll help you build a blueprint to sell your business successfully and help you create, capture, and achieve your dream life. Don't wait for the right time. The time's now. Go ahead and scan the QR code or book a discovery appointment at excoadvisors.com.
All right, now check out some of the other amazing Colorado businesses who also make this show possible.
Lightning Glassworks and Screens.
Lightning Glassworks and Screens is Colorado's go-to for fast, reliable window and glass repair.
Family owned for over 30 years, their mobile service team brings glass in a flash right to your home or business.
Call or text 719-649-4001 or visit fastglassrepair.com.
Lightning Glassworks, Colorado Springs, the local experts in glass repair, and window replacement.
Bright Leaf Energy. Bright Leaf Energy is revolutionizing how sustainability goals are achieved across commercial and industrial real estate.
They're the experts in building decarbonization, bringing collaboration, innovation, and flexibility to every project.
Whether you need a strategic decarbonization roadmap or flexible engineering support to scale your team, Bright Leaf Energy helps you crush your ESG goals while increasing NOI.
Learn more at brightleafenergy.co. That's brightleafenergy.co.
Junkin Hall.
Need to clear out clutter fast?
Junkin Hall is Colorado Springs' go-to for same-day junk removal.
With the eco-friendly service and a 5-star team you can trust.
Visit junkinhall.com to schedule your free estimate today. That's JUNKNHAUL.com.
Be Our Guest Getaways. Be Our Guest Getaways specializes in Disney cruise resort and theme park vacations.
Planning a Disney vacation can be stressful. Let Be Our Guest Getaways provide you with concierge-level service for free.
Learn more at beourguestgetaways.com. That's beourguestgetaways.com.
Planet Duct. Planet Duct is the #1 choice for professional air duct cleaning in Colorado Springs and Southern Colorado. With state-of-the-art equipment and top-tier service, they make sure the air in your home or business is clean and allergen-free. Breathe easier with Planet Duct. Learn more at planetduct.com.
Fast Signs. From banners to vehicle wraps, Fast Signs delivers custom visual solutions to help your business stand out. Their team ensures your message is clear, bold, and effective. Get your signage needed handled at fastsigns.com. That's fastsigns.com.
Proud American Electrical and Solar.
Give Proud American Electrical and Solar a call today for all your electrical and solar needs. They are locally owned and operated business right here in Colorado Springs. If you're looking for information on solar, this is the company you will want to call. Check out their website at proudamericansolar.com. Use promo code COSBusiness for a 5% discount today.
Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care. Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care offers affordable, accessible healthcare with a focus on you. They provide exceptional primary care without the hassle of insurance barriers. Experience a patient-centered approach. Learn more at pinnacleapc.com.
And now let's get back to the show. I was just going to ask you because I know you guys all bring different things to the table, which is awesome. But I was reading up on you, and you have a really interesting kind of career of what you did when you were away from the business too as well. Yeah. Do you care to disclose some of those cool things you did before you jump back into the family business?
Sure. Yeah. When I was in high school, I started researching websites, SEO, marketing, things like that. And I applied it to the business. That's all I knew at the time. So I applied it to Lightning Glassworks. I built some of the websites, the early versions for us. Wasted a lot of money on Google ads, things that my dad was just like, yeah, experiment, try it, and see what happens. And then I started selling those things on the side as part of my own consulting business. So I had my own business growing that consulting, marketing, SEO, website design, website development, all those things. Eventually, one of those clients hired me full time. So it was home services, plumbing. Um, so I worked there for a couple of years, got some experience there. And so basically, everything I've learned through those ups and downs of running my own business, consulting with another business, being full time in another business, seeing the other side. Like that is an interesting part of it too. Like, yeah, family dynamics are hard, but because we have that relationship, it's actually easier than going into work and not being able to trust the people you work with.
Mm.
Um, and just like company politics and all that, like gets in the way so much of being productive that it was really hard for me to actually do my job of marketing at that other company because I was just always like fighting, if you will, with the other members of that company, just office stuff and like pointless stuff. And like, what's more important? The customer and the business and getting along. So coming back to the business, it was like such a relief. It's like, yeah, well, we can trust each other. What's important is customers, our employees, um, and growing the business in the right way, and having that being able to trust one another is great.
Being real too, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I can be real with my family. My mother and I, like she raised me
yeah.
like another business person because she was a business person. And like our relationship, we can be real with one another. Now I ask both of you guys this question because it's interesting because I've never owned a business with my mom or anybody in my family, but like, is there a different hat you put on as far as like, this is Jed's hat for brother, when you're talking to your siblings about whatever, your sister about whatever, versus this is Jed CMO, talking about Mark. Is there differences in how you approach things? Do you have to put on a different hat? Is it just the same fluid type of person? Talk a little bit about that.
I try to make those walls between personal and business just for my own sanity, because otherwise I'll just be working all through the night, all through the day, and I'll never stop because it's a passion, but it's also our livelihood. And it's just something that I've always done is work. So I try to make those walls and say, hey, okay, what are we doing now? This is personal time. Let's try not to discuss work. This is family time. Let's try not to discuss work. This is different times. But I do definitely try that. But of course, I'm Jed. I am all those things into one. And my dad, yeah, he's CEO, but he's also a dad. So sometimes you start talking about personal life or family life, and you're like, hey, dad, what do I do there, here, and here? And then the conversation just goes into the business because you got to go the next day. Like, okay, well, this is also something in the next day. So trying to find that balance is a daily struggle. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially like growing up and being raised by an entrepreneur, and having that dynamic your entire life is very different for most folks. Like, it's very different for you to be raised along with somebody who's able to kind of turn that on and off all the time, and you can fluidly just talk in the same conversation about business, then personal, then back to business, and kind of jump back and forth. I feel like that's a hard skill to learn unless you're raised with it, right? Talk about your dad specifically, as an entrepreneur. And I know Chris asked you about some lessons that you've learned, but just like entrepreneurial lessons that you've learned from him as well, specifically your dad.
Yeah. I don't think he imagined it growing into a business. I think he saw it as a way to support his family and have that work life family balance. Um, I think that was the way he saw it. And it worked out well. Like he's often said, yeah, I would just turn the phone off and take a 2-week family vacation. And my customers knew that I'll be back. They trusted me. They knew that I was reliable and that I would call them back. Um, and so that was the way it worked. Like he always put his family first and it worked out. And then he was always into training others, as my grandpa was too, into training others, and that people come first over productivity. So if we made a mistake building something or whatever, he never never put us down, never yelled at us. He was just like, okay, let's see how we can do this better. Let's tear it apart, restart, or fix it, repair it. So if you break a piece of glass, it's okay. We have plenty more glass. So he would just train us how to build things. And then in the summers, hey, it's a great place to work. We'll earn a little extra money. He needed the help to, to make things run. And so that just was part of our life. And then we all ended up coming back to the business for various reasons and at different times. And the business just was able to keep up with that. Like it was just natural. And my older brother came back to the business, just like he didn't worry about, are we going to have enough? Just like, yeah, come back, work for me. We had enough. So I decided to do the same thing. I said, hey, Dad, I want to come back. This isn't working out. Can I come work for the business? Yeah, sure. No problem. Like, he wasn't worried. He never worried about like, are we going to have enough? It was just like, God will provide. And if you put him and your family first, like it'll all work out. And I think that's been the same with my sister and my brother too. Like we do have more anxiety, and it's nice to have my dad there to say, "Hey, it's okay. It's a slow time," or "This is normal. Like it'll all be fine. Like we've done this for 35 years. Like it'll come back. Everything will be fine."
It's really great to have somebody that's like 10, 20 years ahead of you.
Yeah.
And that's the role that I play with my siblings. A lot of them are 10 years younger than me. And so when something happens, it's like, it's all right, guys. I've been here before like 5 times. Right. We're going to get through it. It's going to all work out. And they're like, no, this is really serious. I'm like, no, it isn't.
Yeah.
It's important. Like
Yeah.
we're going to deal with it, but it's not going to sink us. How do you guys see? So your dad had a more organic view of the growth. Do you guys have a different view as you guys are starting to step into leadership of where you want to take the business, what that needs to look like as the marketplace has changed a bit? Or do you think it's similar?
I think my siblings definitely have my dad's viewpoint, which is good because since I'm the number 3 child, of course, I'm always trying to get more attention to the business, and I have a definite thing that I want to accomplish with the business. But I think you can be your own worst enemy. I can be my own worst enemy at the very least. And so sometimes my ideas are too ambitious or they're like 10 years out. And so when I listen to my family, they're like, hey, keep it in the present. And yeah, those are good goals, but how can we increment towards those instead of trying to do them all at once? So as far as our goals, our definite goals are just to keep it going day to day, which we have more than enough to keep it going day to day. And keep it in focus. Like this is our business, this is our livelihood, but what's more important? People, family, relationships. So like, I think those bigger goals are more important than, expanding our service area or expanding our operations, which of course we want to do and we will do as part of that day to day. But as far as business goals, I think bringing more manufacturing in house, which already we are one of the few glass shops that actually still makes our own double panes and things like that. We still do a lot of in-house manufacturing, but bringing even more of that, I think, is important because it controls costs. It lets you rely less on outside forces. It helps you meet timelines easier. It allows you to train people in different ways, helps educate the workforce in a different way. I think that's a long-term goal, keeping it more local like that. One of the goals that we have met recently is we're always mobile first because that's where the work is. You go to someone's house, that's where the broken glass is, that's where the replacement window is. So we've always been mobile first and just operating off my dad's ranch, which has worked. But it is always that difficult conversation like, where are you guys at? Can I come visit your shop? No, we'll come to you. We'll come to you. We'll come to you. But recently we did get some office space in Colorado Springs, some warehouse space, and that has helped us in a couple different ways. People are more comfortable. Okay, you guys are actually permanent. Of course, we've been permanent for 35 years, but you have that real estate to back you up. That's good. And then suppliers are more likely to be able to deliver to you versus a residential property. They're more comfortable delivering to a commercial property, so we can get better prices, better turnaround with more suppliers, more competition. We send out bids to different suppliers now instead of relying on just a few suppliers.
That's great. How has glass changed? Is it still the same as like 35 years ago, or is it like,
I'd say it definitely changed in terms of energy efficiency. When my grandpa started, it was all single pane, so just a single sheet of glass.
Wow.
Sometimes 3/32, we call it single strength, right? That was really, really common. Later on, it changed double pane, which is two panes of glass separated by a spacer and sealed together with like a tar-like substance called butyl. So double pane was a huge advancement. With that air gap, you get better insulation, better soundproofing, better energy efficiency. Now they have coatings that they add to the glass. So there's a lot of different types of coatings you can add. The most common type is low E coating. So that helps with energy efficiency, helps to keep cool in the summer, warm in the winter. I'd say that's the biggest changes. In 2026, Colorado is mandating that replacement windows, specifically, if you're replacing an entire window, you do have to meet certain energy standards. And so you have to meet a U factor of 0.28, I believe, when you're replacing the entire window. So that has definitely made windows more expensive to replace completely. Thankfully, though, when my dad started the business, his focus was repair first. So we are a service company. We're not necessarily a products company. We do manufacture our own things, but we're a service company. So we do repairs. So if we can keep your window going longer, that's a success for us. It's a success for the customer because it's more affordable and it keeps their windows going longer before they have to replace it. So it's at least 50% savings, sometimes more, depending on what the type of repair is, just to repair an existing window than it is to replace the entire window. It also saves waste, saves materials going into landfills and pollution and things like that.
How, as far as repairing concerns, like someone throws a baseball at a window and cracks the window, how would you go about repairing that? Or is that a full replacement? Like, when does it hit that threshold?
Yeah, excellent question. For that specific case, definitely a repair. If it's just broken glass, easy to repair. You give us a call, text, email, whatever. Since we're mobile first, we're always out on the road. So we service the entire I-25 corridor from Denver to Pueblo, and out east, as well as pretty far west. So you give us a call, we'll come out there, we'll get accurate measurements, we'll give you a quote. And then once you decide to go with that quote, what we do is we make a new double pane unit. So we cut 2 custom pieces of glass, we seal it together. So all that's done locally in our shop in Penrose. Usually my brother or one of our guys is going to do that, manufacture that. And then we just come back out there, take out the old piece of glass and put in the new piece of glass. What's nice about double pane is usually if it's a baseball, it usually only breaks one side of it. So that one side, the other intact side, is going to keep you safe. It's going to keep you warm enough, going to keep the elements out during that week or so of manufacturing before we can come back out and swap out the glass. So you're never left without protection or a window or something like that.
And why is there a baseball as kind of your main little mascot?
job security?
Yeah. That was always the joke, right? Like people would always say, oh, like you should get a baseball with your name printed on it. So last year I finally did that. Had a local person put our name on some baseballs, and everybody really liked it. Everybody enjoyed it. Of course, yeah, we're always worried like somebody is going to throw that and they're going to blame us, but you know,
You give baseballs and Red Ryder BB guns to every customer. You'll have to repeat this forever.
After I got the baseballs, I got a bunch of golf balls too.
Oh, that's
That was
funny.
golf courses.
Oh,
One of our main customers is golf courses, people living on golf courses. So, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Golf balls more than baseballs in Colorado.
For sure. What do you guys do way differently than other service-based businesses? being a family-run business, being a people first, and it sounds like faith is a big piece. But how are you guys different than other businesses that you see?
Yeah. There's lot of different ways. I'd say speed is number one, but close second, maybe number one, depending on the day, right? Is that the business is not our life, it's a piece of our life. It definitely keeps us going. It's what we need. Customers and business are important, but our business has always been focused around how can we put the kingdom of God first while also supporting ourselves. So to that end, yeah, our employees like have really, really good benefits. They get very generous vacation packages for their families. If they have a family emergency, of course, step in and take care of that. But also just what can we help them to do to volunteer to put the kingdom first. So we give a lot of extra time for that. We only have a 4-day work week. No one works more than 3 days a week. So we do Monday through Thursday installs. We do answer the phone on Fridays, but we don't go out on the road on Friday. Everybody gets Friday off. And then nobody works more than 3 days a week is the goal, just so that they have extra time for their family, extra time to take care of what they need to take care of.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about that. I haven't heard of any business that says
3 days.
we only work 3 days a week. How did that come to be, and how does that work in a business where customers need you to do stuff?
We have a really staggered schedule, so it works out. So different guys, like depending on what their family needs, they might take a certain day off versus another person. That's how we work it out. We just stagger the schedule out, make it work that way, and then our customers, they appreciate it. They appreciate what we stand for. They know we've been around for a long time. They know that when we say we're going to do something, we're going to do it. They know that we'll stand by our price. We'll stand by our estimate. So they're willing to wait if they need to. Most people don't have to wait because we do a lot of our own in-house manufacturing. We have our own technicians. We don't subcontract. So we can keep our word, and we can tell people, okay, we're going to come on this day, give a clear expectation of when we're going to be there, what we're going to do. And then people are willing to say, yeah, I trust you. And trust is going to keep people around more than saying you're going to do something really tomorrow and then not get to it for 2 weeks. So it's better just tell people up front when it's going to happen.
We're going to take a quick break to thank our sponsors. Rain Tech. Rain Tech is a trusted IT partner that keeps your business running smoothly.
From cybersecurity to cloud solutions and data recovery, they've got your back so you can focus on what you do best.
Learn more at rain.tech. That's RAIN.tech.
Savion HQ. Is your back office chaos? Are you buried in HR, payroll, and financial guesswork?
Your passion shouldn't be a prison. Savion HQ is your fractional back office partner. We merge HR, payroll, accounting, and tax to bring order to the chaos and make your passion profitable again.
Stop the bleed, get your freedom back. Find us at savionhq.com or email at hello@savionhq.com.
Data Hubs is a compliance, intelligence, and orchestration platform that helps organizations meet the requirements of frameworks like ISO 27001, SOC2, CMMC, HIPAA, GDPR, and more.
Data Hubs gives small and mid-sized businesses a premium compliance experience while cutting down the time, cost, and stress it usually takes to get across the finish line. Learn more at datahubs.com. That's datahubz.com.
Reveal Med Spa. Look and feel your best at Reveal Med Spas. With personalized plans that deliver real results, radiant skin, restored confidence, and natural rejuvenation.
At Reveal Med Spa, we see you more than just aesthetic and wellness treatments. We provide a safe, judgment-free space where you feel valued, heard, and supported.
Visit revealmedspas.com.
I think it is literally just that too. We'll just double check. Book your next session at revealmedspas.com. That's revealmedspas.com. Awesome Home Services. Awesome Home Services delivers top-notch HVAC solutions for your home. Whether you need heating, cooling, or system maintenance, they ensure your comfort year-round. Visit awesomeservice.com for your HVAC needs. That's awesomeservice.com.
Dream Accounting Solutions. Take the stress out of managing your books with Dream Accounting Solutions. They provide reliable expert accounting services tailored to small businesses. Simplify your finances at dreamaccountingsolutions.com. That's dreamaccountingsolutions.com.
Exponential Impact. Exponential Impact is driving innovation and entrepreneurial success in Colorado Springs. Supporting startups with mentorship, funding, and community resources, they help businesses grow and thrive. Learn more about their impact at exponentialimpact.com. That's exponentialimpact.com.
And now let's get back to the show.
So we've been talking about AI and how the people that utilize AI correctly are going to get a lot of time back, we believe. So what are people doing with all their extra time? If somebody only is working 3 or 4 days a week, are they using it well, or is it just more Netflix and more different? Like, how does that look?
Yeah, that's a good question. As far as I know, our employees spend their time with their families.
That's good.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. I mean, we're all pretty good friends with our employees. Like, we've never actually like put a now hiring sign up. We've always found someone that says, "Hey, I need a job," and we've like looked at their past pattern and we're like, "Yeah, we want to hire you because we think we can train you." Like, no one that we've hired has had this skill set, like 20 years glazing. They've come from tree service. They've come from other service-based industries. And we've been able to train them because we look at them as a person and we say, yeah, you're humble, you're patient, you're creative, you can solve problems. We can train you to do that. So we're all friends with our employees, which leads back to that whole like family dynamic. Sometimes you don't get along, but what are we going to do? We're going to get past it. We're going to get along. So I know our employees pretty well, and yeah, they like go hiking. They take their families on vacations. They put the people first. So in a perfect world, that's where I think AI is going to really help people, is just hopefully put humanity back in the first place instead of the computer, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, you can have AI and you need to have a job. You need to be able to support yourself. I think that's valuable still, even in the age of AI, is to be able to work somehow. But being able to let AI take some of the tedium out of life will allow you to be more creative and allow you to spend more time developing relationships with humans.
Do you feel like it has a big effect in your industry so far, AI or anything like that? Like, as far as emerging technologies, I do marketing just like yourself. So obviously there's a big impact there. But what about your industry specifically? Have you seen it kind of creep in and have a big impact so far?
I have not seen it in the trades very much, except in the marketing aspect. I have seen a lot of AI generated images, a lot of AI generated content. Some of it's good, some of it's not. What's interesting, I think, is you can always tell if it's AI generated. And I'm fine with that. Like, I use AI all the time. But I do think you should, if you're going to write a piece about your business, definitely have AI do the tedious part, outlines or whatever. But there should be that human pass to make it sound like, yeah, this is a real person. Because ultimately, when I come out to your home, you're not dealing with AI that wrote this. You're going to deal with a real human, a real person that should be the expert in what we said we were going to do on the computer. Like what you said online, is that line up with what you are actually when you come out to my house. So definitely AI is awesome for marketing. We've been able to implement it there. As far as customer service goes, I have seen varying results with customer service. So far, we still have employees answer the phone and do all that, because we do feel like, since we're a home services company, people should be greeted by a human and be able to feel valued in that way. I do think there is a space for AI for some tedious parts, right? Like rescheduling your appointment, or basic questions like, "Hey, it's 12 a.m. at night. I broke my window. I need an answer like really fast. Like, what can I do to protect myself or whatever?" Like, I do think there's areas for that, but at the moment, I have not seen it implement the trades. Have you guys seen it implement the trades? AI implemented in the trades yet?
On the customer service side of things,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because I feel like just while you're talking, I think we're gonna make this change of guard. Whereas us in our generation, we've always like speak to human. We don't want to hear from a chat bot. Like we want to speak to a human. We don't want to hear the automated messages. Speak to human. That's what we've always said. Like when we're
Yeah.
talking to like a chat system, I think eventually it's going to change where we're like talk to AI
Yeah.
because the human isn't going to know the answers better than AI. AI will seemingly know the answers actually better and more accurately and more up to date than humans. I'm not sure if that's taking the place right now,
Yeah.
but I have seen like in the trade spaces where the customer service part, like you're talking about setting appointments and follow up calls or anything like that and setting all those things up a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, every business is so dependent on what they want to achieve. Like, what are the goals? So your family business looks different than a private equity backed HVAC company or a multi-location, whatever company. And I agree with you. I think people are still not quite sure how to use it well, like understand the utility of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been encouraging people is like, go figure out where it's really useful and where you shouldn't use it and protect your customers from it. And it's getting better. So that band is going to shift. But our approach has always been, if there's recurring tasks that a human is not doing that well, that need to be done well for our clients, I want technology to handle those, but only so our team can have more time with our clients. So if our intro call is an hour and a half, and we're getting to this point pretty quickly, and now we use AI to do a lot of the front end, and I can spend 3 hours. Well, guess what? I'm going to know that person a lot better, be able to serve them better, and then take that data and input it into our tech suite where the things that I might miss, right? Because I'm a human being, and somebody was like, "Hey, Chris, I need you to do this," and I forgot. Well, now that's going to be taken, put into our CRM task management system, whatever it is, and make sure it gets done. And it's getting better and better and better.
Mhm.
So I think for us, we were talking with Andrew on this. It's the creative process that I love, because if you're a person of faith, the church has gotten this really wrong. Work was a blessing. Work was part of the original Garden of Eden experience, right? It wasn't after the fall. That's like a big misconception. God put us in the garden. He's like, all right, name the animals and now do this. And now that was a good thing. So work's a good thing. Now there's pieces of it that because of the fall are not good, right? That wear you out, the stress, the anxiety, that wasn't intended. But I think I want AI to allow people to get back into that creative genius that God created us to be, where you love working. I love working.
Yeah.
I also love spending time with my family.
Yeah.
Right. So when I go to work and my kids are like, all right, I'm going to school, I'm like, sweet. Now I'm fully focused on doing the thing that I love. Then I put my phone away when I get home and I'm fully engaged with my family. And that feels very integrated and seamless, but not many people have that experience. And so that's where I think this could be a tool that could be utilized really well.
Good point.
Absolutely.
Any feedback, thoughts on those answers?
No, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to affect that more administrative part first. I do see, of course, the videos on YouTube of like, the walking dogs and the walking humans and all that. And I'm always like, yeah, I mean, I could see that someday maybe being able to repair a window or replace a window. But then at the same time, I see like all the things our technicians deal with on a daily basis. And it's not just about one little piece. You do have to think creatively on a lot of things. And I do think that is where AI is different than what we had before. Like AI is able to be more creative and put things together, but it is still based on everything that humans have done. So I think you can coexist safely with AI.
It's interesting too, because Chris had a really good point of like, I think we're creators and builders at the end of the day. That's who we fundamentally are. And like we live to be useful or do something that's fulfilling in our lives. Like no matter what it is, a creator, a businessman, like we're just trying to fill our cup with whatever we're doing. We're just trying to do something that's fulfilling for yourself. And so where does that go? When we have, all this technology doing all these tasks, do we lean into that or do we lean into other things? As a faith believer myself, it can go many different ways in that way, right? It can go towards the bad things too as well, right? It's just interesting to see where society we'll go and what we'll really lean into as we free up more of our time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, as a person of faith, yeah, like, of course, you were warned about things in the Bible, and then there's things that you should be doing, and there's the malediction and the blessing, and so like I always and so there's always that warning, like, okay, well, this new technology, yeah, it could expose you to bad things, right? The mobile phone, the computer, the internet, all these things, it could expose you to bad things, but there's also a lot of good things. I mean, think of all the things that the mobile phone and the internet has been able to bring to society, and people have been able to translate and distribute the Bible into hundreds of thousands of language, or not hundreds of thousands, into thousands of languages worldwide. That wouldn't have been possible without computers and the internet and things like that, being able to reach all those different people. So I always view new technology as a tool, and a tool has safeguards. Chainsaw, you need you need those safeguards. You need the correct safety equipment. You need the correct training, but it's a tool that's going to make you more productive and better at your job.
No, I love it. I think that's perfectly put. And we can set that there because that was a good way to close out that little part. I think it's very important to do things intentionally. That's why I love talking with Chris, because everything he does in his life is intentionally. And if we don't do things intentionally, like, what are we doing here? We're just walking around aimlessly, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're just literally walking around aimlessly with no goals, nothing set, and we're kind of reacting versus being proactive with our lives. That's what I feel like we need to be doing, right? Is like being proactive with our lives. Because when you walk around with intentionality, there's so much you can create, so much you can help other folks with and bring people along the way with you. So it's a beautiful thing. And I see a ring on your finger. So
Yeah.
are you married to?
Yeah.
Well, do you have a
Yeah.
family?
I do have a wife, and we've been married for 10 years. So this is our 10-year anniversary ring I got in Sri Lanka. So we spent 3 weeks in Sri Lanka in September. Yeah, it's a Sri Lankan sapphire. Um, we do not have children. We have, I have a dog that is 17, and so my wife says that that's my first wife, because I always spend a lot of time with my little dog and take care of her, and she's old, but she's still feisty. Then my wife has a pug, which I'm jealous of, but no, we enjoy our life. We take care of our animals and things. About 5 years. It's here, February. 6 years. 6 years in February. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So that's like something that hits people when they're about 28 years old, average. They can. So I was average. I was 28 when I got Hodgkin's. And so I went through all the chemo and stuff. And we had already kind of discussed children, and I don't know, we just weren't at that point yet. But then, like, right before I started chemo, like, the doctor comes in and they give you the whole thing, and they give you the whole list of side effects, like your fingernails are gonna fall out, and like they're like, oh, also, like, you may not be able to have children. Like, do you want to do anything about that first? Like, I go to a sperm bank or something, and I was like, no, I just want to start treatment. Like, so I don't know. I don't even know if that's a possibility to have children. Probably too personal. But anyway, like, we've decided to put that off. Like, we think that in the future, that in God's kingdom, I think that we'll be able to have a family. In the meantime, we're just going to serve God to the best of our ability, and we're happy. We're content with what He has provided for us.
Dude, thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that story with us.
Yeah.
I will note one thing. One of my best friends had the same thing at the same age.
Yeah.
And he just had his first baby
It's awesome.
like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Our buddy Kevin,
Yeah.
my buddy Kevin,
Yeah.
and literally same exact. And I think I'm pretty similar age. I'm 1991.
Yeah.
So I'm 35.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just had, and after some time of trying, but
Yeah.
they were able to have
It's
a
awesome.
kid after the treatment and
That's
everything. I think he got done with his treatment like
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago.
Tell him congratulations for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's a big deal. I don't want to just skip over that because I know there's a lot of folks that are listeners that are struggling with health stuff.
Yeah.
How did that change your perspective on faith, on life, on everything? Because that had to have been a big deal.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm still trying to deal with it in a lot of different ways. Yeah. Um, I did go to like therapy afterwards just because I was like after I had beat it, like I was actually more down than when I was going through treatment. Like going through treatment, it was difficult and there was a lot of pain, but that was like the happiest time of my life and the happiest we've ever been as like a couple.
Wow.
Just because I think we had that common enemy. We were really focusing on each other and our faith, and just like you have a lot of support with the doctors and a lot of support from family. And it's just like, I don't know. It was just it was fun. The pain wasn't fun, but it was just fun. Um, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe
was
it. But anyway,
Probably a crazy adventure,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah, it was a crazy adventure and like, yeah. But then after I beat it, I was like really anxious and just like really scared. I didn't know what to do. So I was talking to a therapist about it, and he said, well, like sometimes people may come home, like being a soldier, and yeah, they feel the same way because every day they're worried about their life or worried about what to do. And then they come home and they're like, none of this compares to what I had to deal with there. So what's the point of life? Because I don't like none of this anxiety or whatever, like it doesn't compare because I was putting my life on the line every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something I've come to terms with. Like I can be happy, being content and living day to day. And um, what are my goals? Well, I can have a strong family. I can have a happy life, and I don't have to worry so much about the daily things. Uh, I don't know if any of that makes sense,
It
but
does.
that's
That's good.
yeah, that's
I
what I'm
was just going to
navigating.
say that, I think and he hit on a really good point of like facing mortality at such a young age almost seems the opposite at that age, especially in your 20s. You almost feel like you're invincible in your 20s. So to frame that back almost 180 and say, I'm coming to terms that I might die
Yeah,
and I'm still young and I
Yeah.
still feel strong, but it doesn't matter.
yeah,
In a lot of ways, that's up to God to decide, when my time is. But it also probably has a large effect on your ego and your pride and what you thought was left of your life versus what is actual reality. And so that can be a complete head game to go through.
yeah. I definitely hope it has had an effect on my ego. Just because that, like, my dad is like a very humble, patient person, and I try to follow his example, and like I think that experience has definitely helped me to be more humble. Like, yeah, everybody is going through some sort of struggle. So maybe one day a customer calls and curses you out or something. Okay, you know, I don't know what's going on in your life, so it's okay. We'll just keep taking care of you or whatever. But yeah, like I'm not number one, right? There's a lot of things to take care of, and just take it one day at a time. Yeah.
What about your relationship first and foremost to go through that with a
Yeah.
life at such a young age? I'm sure that put the relationship quite through quite a test early on in your marriage, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking about that last night actually. Like I was trying to remember how long exactly we've been married, but yeah, it was thankfully my wife is a very patient and kind person. She's a caretaker in her career, but she's a caretaker at heart. And that's one of the reasons I really fell in love with her, is because I saw her taking care of older people and taking care of her family. And I was like, this is actually like a good person at heart. And she w- was that person when I was going through this. Like, she definitely take care of me and helped me, and was always there. I can't imagine going through it without her. Like, she was always at the hospital, or she would take me to the hospital when I was in too much pain. No matter what time of day, no matter what time of night, if I finally said, okay, I have to go to the hospital, I was there, 30 minutes, no questions. And she would fight with the nurses and doctors and say, no, he needs this, or she would keep track of the medications and all that just to make sure everything was taken care of. Um, I did read a lot about marriages that like failed, during times of chemo and cancer, and I was just shocked that like some people, like, they would get the diagnosis and the next day their partner would leave them. And I'm just like,
Holy cow.
but then when I actually went into like the chemo room, um, I was like the only person with someone there. Like everybody else would just get dropped off. And I was just like, wow, like I can't believe how good I have it. Like I'm blessed to have someone with me who will go through this with me. So yeah.
It brings like instant perspective. My wife, I was on the other side of that. So when we had our third daughter, my wife almost died. She had a bunch of pulmonary embolisms. And this was in the middle. I was running an oil company and oil was negative and COVID had happened. It was just chaos. And she was like, man, my back's hurting. My back's hurting. And she had a C-section. I was like, okay, we'll call your doctor and, let's take you in. But I was pretty distracted. And she went into her doctor and called me and was like, hey, they said I have to go to the emergency room right now and I might not live. And it just changes everything about your relationship with that person when on the other side, on your spouse's side, especially when you're like, oh my gosh, this person I thought we were going to grow old with may not be here tomorrow. And we have all these other things in our life that we want to do. And I agree with you. It gave us the sweetest time
Yeah.
in our marriage after that. And I had to give her these blood thinner shots. I think it was twice a day. And I'm like, I hate shots and anything like involving blood or whatever. But when we found out, hey, she's going to be okay, it was like, no problem. Like it's no problem to do this because I'm so thankful that we have this opportunity. And honestly, it was a gift from God because I didn't have my priorities in alignment.
Yeah.
I said I did, but I didn't. And that gave us this instant perspective to say, hey, what do we really want out of life? How do we really do what God wants us to do? Let's map that out. And we did. And the life we have now is totally different because of that event. So, I mean, it was a blessing for us. And I know it's not the case for everybody. I mean, sometimes it's absolutely demoralizing and destroys things, but for us it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And I totally agree. And I'm glad I'm glad it worked out for both of us. And like, but I do think about like the other side, like, why does that happen? And like I think that's a nice ego check on myself. Like, okay, like don't pass judgment on other people. Like, that's not your job. Just take care of what you can take care of and try to help if you can. And then just let people make their own decisions and go from there. Yeah.
What got you out of that depression when you got done with all the chemotherapy and you kind of were hitting that slump since the noise had kind of died down? What was something that got you out of that whole phase?
Yeah. So like finished chemo in February and then we were supposed to go to Disney World for finishing chemo. Because by that time I got the clear, all clear. And then COVID, right? Like March or April, right? So
2020.
yeah. So all of that shut down. So everything was canceled. So I went from being isolated for 6 months, which my dad was really kind and nice. He like paid my check that entire 6 months of chemo, and I didn't work that whole 6 months. And so I was isolated that whole time basically. And then COVID, I had to take extra precautions because my immune system was still down. So I was like really isolated for like a year, at least, maybe a year and a half. So at the end of COVID, I was super depressed. Like I didn't want to get out of bed at all. I do think the company definitely helped me get out of that more so. I think depression is something I never will really ever like conquer. I think it's just something I have to manage and deal with. I do think the company managing it, helping other people, having goals, I think that does help me just have something to do. Like you're saying, fill your cup with something to do. And what's the bigger goal? What's the bigger goal of having the company? Taking care of my family, right? Taking care of each other, taking care of our bigger family and our friends, and serving God's kingdom. I do think all those things have contributed to being able to at least have a healthier mindset most days.
Well, you have something to be really proud of,
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
Conquering that is absolutely
Yeah.
a feat.
Yeah.
Can only imagine what that felt like,
Yeah.
emotionally, physically to go through that. And so you should be really proud of, conquering that whole thing and keeping your marriage intact and also, having your family with you all the way along for it. And then now coming out the other side of that 6 years later, and having something that you can be proud of even more, like your family business.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I definitely feel, um, I guess blessed is the right word, but just to like have a moment to like think about those who didn't conquer the battle with cancer or something, right? Like I had a 10-year-old friend, right? And he was born with different tumors and things. And then like he passed away right after I finished mine. And like, just thinking about like things like that, it's like, there's a lot of bad things going on in the world, but like just have the privilege to know him and like reflect on him. How am I living my life? It's a good thing to meditate on.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about for this year? Whether it be personally or in the business, like what's got you fired up? What are you guys working on that's really cool that
Yeah, for sure. I think so. As part of our corporation, it's a corporation. I mean, it's a legal corporation, but every year we take a family vacation, and it's a corporate retreat. So we have a corporate meeting. We talk about corporation things, but we go to the beach or we go to the desert or something. So this year we're gonna try to go to Acadia National Park.
nice?
So I'm really excited about that. That's what we're planning. We're trying to do that. So of course it's our corporate retreat, but all of our employees, they're always like, "Yeah, your family vacation, right?" Like, no, it's a good time. We always have a good time and a lot of food, and yeah, it's just a good time to step away from the business a little bit, but focus on it in a different way, in a more relaxing way. So, my sister went there to Bar Harbor, I think that area, a few years ago, and she recommended it. So we're gonna try to go there as a family and experience that. And my dad wants to see the whales. My brothers are both really into bird watching, and there's birds there that you can see.
What part of the country again is that?
I think it's in Maine.
Oh,
Yeah.
in Maine, so northeast part of the
Yeah.
country then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
Seatbelt
haven't done much
country.
research on it, actually.
Watch it, he's probably in Oregon or something.
That's the best way to do it. That's how I do vacations. I'm like, tell me where we're going, I'll be there. And
Yeah.
I don't need to do any research. I'm going for it.
I used to like be more of a planner with vacations, and I would buy the trips and I would know the calendar and everything. And then when I got married, my wife started doing a lot of that stuff, and she's just better at it. And I would try to help and it didn't work. And now like I just get on the plane and go, and I'm like, what are we doing? And it's pretty awesome. Yeah,
Nice.
for sure.
Love it.
Are you that type of vacationer where it takes you a while to kind of set into it, or do you right away, like the moment you hit the airport, you're like, all right, I'm on chill mode and I'm feeling good already? Like, when do you actually adjust to
It takes
being on vacation?
Yeah, it takes me like 3 or 4 days for sure, just to settle down and put away my phone and like try not to worry about like whatever problem was going on before I left or whatever. And it does take me a couple days for sure.
So if this was the perfect year for you guys, what goals would you be hitting this year? What is something that you're like, man, if we hit this milestone this year, this would be the pinnacle of what we've been working towards for the past 35 years? What would that be?
Wow. Um, yeah, that's a good question. And we just had our corporate meeting in September and we discussed a lot of goals. I'm trying to remember like our main one, like just because you have that corporate meeting and you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be great. And then life hits, like reality hits, right? And so it does distract me from my goals. I think getting the office space in the warehouse, that was a big thing. That's been something we've been working on for a while. Just as we talked about it, it's difficult in Colorado Springs to find the right spot to set up shop. I think I think one of the things we are really working on this year is more like um, like standard operating procedures,
Yeah.
if you will. Like we don't want to lose our creativity because there is a lot of creativity in repairs. Like how can we come up with because there's so many different types of window manufacturers and door manufacturers and parts and things. And sometimes these companies go out of business and you don't have the parts. So we do a lot of our own manufacturing and a lot of our own sourcing. And sometimes you just have to come up with a creative way to get this window or door working that's going to last a long time for the customer. So we don't lose that part. But there is a lot of things where if we had this procedure like, hey, customer calls in and you map it all out, I do think you could put that into AI or give it to your employees and be able to train off of that more. So yeah, we are a small company. A lot of our day to day is just dealing with all of the same things over and over again. So if we could put that into standard operating procedures, I think that's something that would be really nice and it would help us to grow without sacrificing the soul of the company, so to say. Yeah.
That's so cool because even like Claude, we use Claude workspaces for our businesses. And I mean, if you found one thing, you're like, hey, we had this window company that went out of business in 1990 and we had to repair it this way. And this is how we did it. And then you build that in there, then that script is built forever. And then you can query it and then have it teach you. You can even have it build a podcast and have your person listen to it before they're going, hey, listen to this 10-minute podcast. It's going to tell you exactly how to fix this because we already did it 3 years ago.
Exactly.
Like, and that's a minimum functionality, but there's so many cool things. And even we've been talking about like, so my grandpa's 96 and I spent a lot of time with him last week. And I love hanging out with folks that have been around that long, right? He was born in 1930. Like they didn't even have a car till he was like 8 or 9. And it was like one of the original Ford lines. But he has this different perspective. And I was using Claude to really capture a lot of his stories because I'm like, man, I'm not going to remember these vividly in a long time. And my kids dang sure aren't going to remember them. But my kids have gotten to know their great grandpa for a long time, right? My son's 9.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a huge blessing.
Yeah.
So we were just starting to capture some of that in a way that like we can build whatever, right? Memoirs and other things that will stay for a long time. Whereas before that was a lot more difficult to do. There's just so much functionality in there. Like you said, to make life richer, not to like discipline breeds freedom. That was like Jocko Willink's deal. And I believe that when you have those disciplines, it allows you more creative.
Yeah.
Right. Like not less.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
and usually the people that don't want the processes are like, it's going to kill our creativity. And it's like, no, it really isn't. Like, look at Apple.
Yeah.
They had the best SOPs ever and they were the most creative. I mean, they still are. Tesla, or, Elon Musk crew, like I guarantee you they have the best SOPs of anybody out there that allows those creative minds to do the thing that they're going to do, but also not just let the thing fall apart when it's time to go execute on it.
Sounds
cool.
cool.
It's really interesting.
That's cool. Cool. I'm glad you shared that with me.
We got to get you on the book Traction. Have you ever read that book before?
I tried to.
I've heard that 1,000 times so far.
It's a pretty dense book. So that's pretty true to it. But if you do get through it, it is a great book. And then you can kind of figure out, I mean, it's just one way of doing things, but Chris loves the EOS methodology and he's even incorporated his own twist on a lot of those things. But man, oh man, if you get through it, you're like, this is a very powerful tool. And if you see businesses who incorporate that, you're like, I can see why they're top level businesses,
Yeah.
And really like the reason, if you're a person of faith and you own a business, a lot of them fight processes. But my framework is we are stewards, right? If you are a Christian, you're a steward of the thing that you have. And even if you're not, we only get to have it for so long before we die and then it passes to somebody else. That's just the reality of life. But stewardship means you're going to take care of that and improve it in a systematic way to leave it better than when you got it. And so for me, that's why like having an operating system was so important, because if I'm not involved, I want to know the thing is growing and glorifying God in my absence. And that only happens by having an operating system that doesn't involve me, right? That's just like it runs and our team can run it without me. And so I always brought it back to, am I being a good steward with this business that we own, with this real estate asset, with this oil and gas asset, with our clients? And when I didn't have an operating system, my answer was like, I kind of don't think I am. I am sometimes, right? Like when I'm doing the thing, but when I'm not, it's not good stewardship. And so that's the framework I always bring back. I'm like, I just think operating systems help us be better stewards.
Yeah, that's an excellent way to put it because we are already multi-generational, but how can we pass this on to the next generation?
For sure.
Because my grandpa taught my dad and my dad taught me and my brothers, but how are we going to teach the next generation, especially if something were to happen to us, which you've already experienced a lot of, not just myself, but just everybody's dealing with different sicknesses or whatever life. So if something were to happen to us, how are we going to pass that knowledge on? But yeah, definitely having it written down or something, able to pass that on and pass that livelihood on and pass the values on of which made our company successful and which made it grow and all that. So yeah, I think that is why I said that having it written down, I do think it would be a nice goal, even though it sounds to me when I say it in my own head, like, oh, write it down. Like, oh, that's easy. That's not a good goal. But when I say it out loud, it's like, oh, that's a big goal. So I think that would be something we want to accomplish before we go on our corporation retreat, or at least start on it and have a place to revise it and incrementally keep adding to it as we get more knowledge and wisdom each job.
I would challenge you guys. This is what we've been doing. Use Claude or another platform. Whereas before it would take us 40 hours to do this.
Yeah.
Now it's going to take you 2.
Right.
And it's going to be way better.
Yeah.
And then you get the first draft and then you tell your mom, you're like, hey, this is kind of what, and she's like, hey, you forgot this core value.
Right.
You're like, oh, cool. You put that in. Hey, weave this through that. And then your dad's like, hey, you forgot to talk about this piece that your grandpa taught. Okay, cool. We weave that in. Then you have a document that in your family meeting, you can sit down and say, what's wrong? What's right? Take those notes, input it back in, and then say, hey, create this outcome that is like our family constitution or whatever you want it. And it's going to be better than you ever could have done. I mean, we've done it. And that's why awesome. Like even our EOS meetings, I'm like, all right, when we do our rock setting, our annual planning, we do kind of Claude pre-work. Yeah. And then we do the meeting and then we do post work and the end product is like exponentially better. I mean, it's incredible.
It's awesome.
Cool. It's so cool, man. It's like your source of truth at that point, right?
Right.
It's just like so powerful. And then you're building it together, like he's saying. So it's just like an unbelievable tool to use. I'm excited. So one thing, and Chris can chime in here too, is like you got to figure out seats for folks in your business and who would be able to help you deploy this or integrate this into your business. And so I don't know if that's someone in your family. Maybe it is your sister, El Presidente. Or
love that title.
Yeah, by the way, that sounds pretty badass, to be honest with you.
See, I think it's a term of endearment and compliment, but
she doesn't like it. You didn't call her the dictator. El Presidente's a good term.
That's what I thought. I even made her like in the Apple messages, you can make like a sticker. I made her a sticker with a hat and everything.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm talking about. There was the marketing. Here we go, dude. That's good.
I'm gonna ask my wife to call me that from now on.
Oh my gosh, Jed, this has been a fun interview, man. I'm super excited to see what this next year does for you guys after that corporate retreat and see what you guys hit for goals. But thank you again for coming on. This has been fun.
For sure.
We'll have to do it again, man.
Absolutely, yeah. I think if you had my dad on, I think he would have a lot of cool stories as well.
Oh yeah. We might lock him in for the next one then. That'd be fun.
Yeah, he's a cool person. I think like that's the reason we've been successful is like a customer meets him, they're like drawn to his personality and they're like, that's cool. Like I can trust this guy. So yeah.
Oh, amazing. Well, this is your camera right here, friend. Where can we find you guys?
So we are available text or call 719-649-4001 or fastglassrepair.com, fastglassrepair.com.
Awesome. Well, this has been another episode of the Colorado Business Podcast, and we'll see you guys on the next one.